Hi y'all, my name is Kayla and welcome to my cozy catted corner of the internet. So today we are starting a series that really begs the question, can you truly judge a book based on its cover? I've been rolling this idea around in my head a lot because I like to say that I am a cover hoe. I really do pick and choose books based on their cover. Now, of course, not every gorgeous cover has a great story in it, and not every less than desirable cover has a terrible story in it. But I think as human beings, most of us are drawn to things that are visually appealing. So I am going to be reading books, whether they have absolutely stunning, gorgeous, eye-catching covers, or, they have a cover that I would never touch with a 10,000-foot pole. Kind of the general rule of thumb is I just pick a book, just literally solely based on the cover. I don't look up the author, I don't look up the genre, I don't read the synopsis on the back of the book. This is just solely me seeing a book, going, I love that cover, I think that cover is questionable in taste, and I read it. In today's video, we are going to be checking out Do I Know You? This is a cover that I actually really like. And some of you may be sitting there going, Kayla, you hate cartoony covers. And yes, you're true. Call me a hypocrite. But something about this cover is just so appealing, like a little mysterious. Pretty sure this is going to be a little romance book. Based off of the cover and the title of the book, this is my thought of what this book is gonna in general be about. It does have 2 wedding rings on it, and I think this is gonna be about a married couple that goes on like a beach vacation, and it's gonna be like one of 2 storylines. Either they're gonna go on this beach vacation and do that thing couples do where they act like they've never met each other before, they're meeting for the first time, and try and like role play that to like add some spice back into their life. Or they go on this vacation, or maybe even like a retreat, one of those wellness retreats where you like get to know yourself again, and they're starting to realize like, I have no idea this person I married, like you are not who I thought you were. Something like that. I don't know if this is gonna end in happily ever after. We will see. I do want to note that obviously this is all 110% opinion based. Clearly, I feel like most videos on the realm of booktube are 110% opinion based because we all have varying opinions, varying experiences that dictate what we like and what we don't like. So a cover that I may find visually intriguing, you may think, what? Or a book cover that you may think is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, chef's kiss, I may be like, trash. We all have different opinions. So at the end of the day, let's just keep in mind, these are all my personal opinions. But as always, I love knowing your guys' opinions. So drop them in the comments down below. Let me tell you guys, the hardest part of this experiment is not reading the synopsis and truly just grabbing the book off the shelf and walking to the checkout. What do we all do? What do we all do? You see a book, you pull it off the shelf, and the first thing you do is flip it over and start reading the back to be like, what's this about? With all of that noted, let's get into the reading part. Y'all, the vibes for this book do not match the vibes of outside. It's like almost summertime. It's springtime, you know, but it is currently pretty gloomy outside, pretty dreary, but like productive gloomy. I don't know about you guys, but like there's a difference between, there's a hair in my coffee. There's a difference between like gloomy, productive gloomy, and I want to lounge around and read books all day gloomy. So right now it's productive. It's productive gloomy. Anywho, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about, can you really judge a book by its cover? Good edition. Do I know you? Y'all, I called it. I called it at the beginning of this video. I said, I think one of two things. This book is either gonna be a situation, what was both my things? One of them for sure. I was like, it's gonna be a married couple and they're gonna pretend to like be meeting each other for the first time. That's what happened here. This book, I don't know how I feel about this book, to be quite frank. It's a good book. Let's just start with that. It is a good book. The cover is exactly what I expected it to be. I actually really enjoyed this book to an extent. This is not a 5-star read for me. I dare say it's not even a 4-star read for me. But before I get to why it's not that, let's talk about what this book is. This book is about a couple that has been married for 5 years now. They got married, quote unquote, young. I believe they met when they early 20s, got married 2 years after they were together, because in total they've been together 7 years and they're celebrating their 5-year anniversary. So they got married about 2 years after they met or started dating. And they're starting to fall into what I think is a very common thing in most relationships, where you just kind of like get used to each other. You're not actively dating each other. You fall into a rut, right? There aren't sparks flying every 5 seconds. And so both of them feel that they've fallen into this rut for different reasons, to be quite frank. The wife is very much outgoing. She is a voice actress. She plays a lot of characters. She's very extroverted. And the husband is a lawyer, is really good at his job, loves his job, but he's a little bit more reserved. Not like not super buttoned up conservative like he can have fun. He's the life of the party in situations. But he's gotten to a point where he feels as though his wife doesn't necessarily appreciate him for just who he is. Like, he feels like to make her happy, he has to be almost a caricature of himself, you know? Like, when you're out and about and you're interacting with other people, like, you're putting on a show almost. You're not 110% who you are when you're just chilling at home. They start the book off in a car ride to their 5-year anniversary. Graham, who's the husband, and Eliza, who's the wife. Graham's parents got them a honeymoon suite, like a really nice honeymoon suite at this gorgeous, all expense paid resort. And they're like, this is your anniversary present. So on the drive, like the story literally starts with them in the car on the way to the hotel. There's just this innate tension of like, this is the longest car ride. This is so boring. What do we even talk about? And ultimately, Eliza hatches a plan. Not in the car ride. It just kind of happens casually, because when they get to the hotel, they check in. There was a mix-up in the reservation system where somehow they had 2 rooms. Like, they had just a standard room, and then they also had the honeymoon suite. And Eliza's like, well, I have to do this recording, because she's a voice actress. She's like, I have to do this recording for an audition. So let's just keep the second room for now, for like tonight. Keep the second room for tonight so I can record this. And then like we'll be in the honeymoon suite the rest of their stay. I think they're there for like a week. Graham wasn't the biggest fan of it, but he's like, yeah, sure, whatever, okay. They go to their separate spaces and they're like, we'll meet in the bar. And Graham gets to the bar first, and he's talking to this guy, David, and they're just like shooting the shit, talking, and then Eliza shows up, and David, not knowing who she is, he's like, oh, hey, I'm David, it's so nice to meet you, this is my buddy Graham. Graham and Eliza both kind of play along with the fact that they've never met before. It's all fun, good fun and games, and then David leaves, and Graham's like, okay, well, what are we doing? And Eliza's like, you know what? Just a crazy little thought. Let's just pretend like we're completely different people. And I think the part that I didn't like about it is it wasn't like they were introducing themselves for the first time. They were like literally playing different characters. They had the same names, but like Graham was an investment banker from Santa Fe and Eliza was being an event planner from, or a vacation planner from Boston. Like they were being completely different people. And the more the story went on, the more that factor not only agitated me, but it also made Graham feel like, well, Eliza loves investment banker Graham more than lawyer Graham. So it caused some tension in that fact for Graham, because his whole thing was that he felt like Eliza was bored with who he was as a person. This was a book that I wasn't like devouring. I would read maybe 3 chapters and then kind of just set it down and walk away. And that's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to books. Like, I don't think every single book has to be one that you inhale. But for me, the more times I set it down and I stepped away from it, the more I was all like, do I really like this book? So I think for me, while in theory and in concept, I've really enjoyed it. It had a lot. I laughed a lot. I cried a couple times. It had a lot of great moments. Like, I do want to buy this book because I want to like highlight. There were so many just lines in it that I really wanted to highlight so badly, but it's a library book. So I will be buying this book. I probably will reread it. So maybe I'll have a newfound perspective on it when I reread it. But in a first sitting, first round read of it, yeah, it's 3 stars. It was a book. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just a good read. So I guess this does beg the question, can you really judge a book by its cover? I really appreciated this cover art. I think it's amazing. I did enjoy the story for the most part. It's not a 5-star, but not every book you read has to be a 5-star read. I think if this was like a 2-star for me, then I would say you can't judge a book by its cover. But I think for this one, I think this was still a win. It was still really good. There were still a lot of great takeaways I had from it. I enjoyed the character development. In the end, the way the book ends, it ties everything nicely together. So overall, it was an enjoyable book. And clearly, I want to read it again because there was a lot of one-liners, a lot of passages where I'm all like, yes, I need to like somehow etch those into my soul. Can you really judge a book by its cover? I think the answer is yes. But stay tuned. In a few weeks, we will have another version of Can You Judge a Book by Its Cover? Bad Edition. The book I will be reading for Can You Judge a Book by Its Cover? Bad Edition is the Evernight edition of Murder Road by Simone St. James. If y'all have watched my book haul video, you will know exactly how I feel about this book cover. But needless to say, I don't like it. And to be quite frank, I actually don't like the regular version of the book cover either. So I think this book, no matter what, would have made it in Can You Judge a Book by Its Cover Bad Edition. If you are not already subscribed and you want to know my thoughts and opinions on this book, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you're turn on your notifications so you are notified when this video drops. And let me know in the comments down below, have you read Do I Know You? What were your thoughts and opinions? Do you like this book cover? Or is it just me?
All by myself.
I think this is a cute book cover. I really enjoy it. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one.
All by myself in the morning.